Hello and welcome to my podcast, What I Find Funny. My name is Deb Sherritt, and I'll be spending the next few minutes with you sharing things that I find funny either in my daily life, through the many diverse experiences I've had, or just some of the quirky, ironic, or coincidental things that happen to make me laugh. Laughing is so important, and considering these last few years, I think we all need a good laugh now and again. On this episode of What I Find Funny, it's all about wine and the funny effect it has on me. So, some facts first. I'm a 58-year-old woman, height of 157 centimeters or 5'2" for you imperial listeners, and I'm 58 kilos or 128 pounds. I'm sharing this with you because, as you may be aware, women metabolize alcohol differently than men, and it seems I metabolize it like I've taken a hit from a prize-winning boxer. It knocks me out. My honey bunch and I have been making our wine for many years. In fact, it was because of a win from our local radio station, 102.3 Jack FM in London, that brought us into Worx on Commissioners Road, run by Mary Lou and Kevin Day. Really wonderful people. I'll leave a link to their shop below the episode listings, but their wine kits, specifically the Barolo, are the only wines I drink. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not any kind of wine expert, far from it. We love the taste and the price. So you see, we started with the Cab Sauv, tried the Chianti, and then the Valpolicella, and finally have settled on the Barolo. A beautiful red wine that goes with everything from chocolate to nuts, red meat, white meat, sauces, stews, whatever your main course or snack of choice is, a glass of Barolo is the nectar of the gods that will go with it. However, I need mine over ice. Yes, that is correct. Some of you may be grabbing the pearls, but I need to cut the wine with ice and water or I'm down for the count. And this is what started it all. It was a Saturday night, wintertime, in the dark days of February or March. We'd had spaghetti for dinner. My honey bunch is quite the cook, and his spaghetti is my favorite. We're about 2 years into being empty nesters, and we're completely enjoying ourselves on our Saturday night. Wine was flowing, the music was playing, we were dancing, having fun. The mess in the kitchen was my responsibility to clean up. My husband's the cook, I'm the cleanup crew. So sometime well after dinner and while we've been having a blast, I decide I need to get the dishes done, probably around 9:30. So I dish glove up, run the water as hot as possible, and I get pearl diving, as my father used to call dishwashing. But something funny happens to me when I stick my hands, even gloved, into stinking hot water. I go dizzy. My blood goes thin and I feel faint. It's happened before, even when I'm not having a drink. But this time, it came over me very fast. My drill is, when I feel it coming, I lay down on the ground as quick as possible and get near a cool air source. As soon as I felt it coming over me this time, I called out to Honey Bunch, "Oh, I feel dizzy. Can you open the windows and doors, please?" To which he did immediately. I laid down on our front door rug and began to breathe the cool, fresh air. After some moments, Honey Bunch came to lay down beside me, stroking my hair, making sure I was okay. Even our dog Rosa came to join us. Lovely. Right? Right. When I woke up, it was 3 a.m. The entire house was lit up like a Christmas tree. All lights were on. All windows were wide open, and it was freezing in there. And our music was still playing. What the? And there was Honey Bunch, just rousing himself. He'd fallen asleep all cozied up beside me with the dog, after laying there for a while making sure I was okay. Poor guy. Happy Saturday night. But me? On my ass. On 2 glasses of wine in the space of 4 hours. Now, I can drink rum in a mojito with no effects like this whatsoever. I didn't get it. Wondering why the wine knocked me down so hard, I called Mary Lou and I asked her thoughts. She told me that there could be several reasons, including how I metabolize, that could factor in, and then suggested try adding half water or ice to your glass. I have a customer who does that and says it helps. Always gives good advice, that Mary Lou. She's a gem. So that's when I began to add ice and water to it. At first I didn't like it, but I could tell it was a much better consistency for me, not so bold and rich, which I wondered was what made me into its bitch, really. Anyway, there's been times over the years that I tried to mix with the ratio and been very sorry for it. I woke up one morning covered in crumbs, peanut butter, and honey, 3 things I never eat. I walked into my kitchen to see a mess, which is rare for me. I generally go to bed with a clean kitchen. There's an empty saltines cracker package and another half full next to each other on the counter. The peanut butter and honey are left out next to them. 2 knives show signs of being used in both jars. I follow crumbs to my side of the couch and find remnants of the counter mess there, too. Just then both Honey Bunch and Bunny, she's home from university, come into the kitchen. What happened? I ask them. I look at my shirt and again at the couch, and as they're telling me, it starts to come back like a bad burrito. I woke up off the couch, sat upright, and announced, I'm hungry. Honey Bunch suggested a PB and honey sandwich, and for some reason that sounded great, but we had no bread. Bunny suggested the crackers, and I was sold. Heading into the kitchen, grabbing the crackers, PB and honey, I remember throwing myself back down on the couch and stuffing my face like I was Jabba the Hutt. It was so very clear now. I was astonished, mostly because the whole scenario was not me. I don't eat after dinner. I don't eat peanut butter or honey. This wine was extraordinary. Suffice it to say, experimenting with the ratio stopped after that incident. I filled the glass full of ice, then half with wine, then half with water. So, I drink my wine like a heathen, with no appreciation for its body or bouquet, but rather like a barbarian, cutting into it and destroying it with no hesitation, all for my own personal taste. I must say, Mary Lou and Kevin certainly named their establishment correctly because their wine works. And that is what I find funny. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of What I Find Funny, and be sure to come back and check out future postings. Until then, find funny where you can, and take care.